Ethan Carter wiped the sweat from his forehead and took a deep breath. The mining colony on planet Aster 7 was dark and lonely, hidden away in a distant corner of space. His job was tough, the hours long, but Ethan liked his work. It kept him busy, and he felt useful. Today, however, he had a strange feeling. He adjusted his helmet and activated his flashlight. Ethan had noticed something unusual deep inside the old mining tunnels. Most of his team didn't explore this far anymore because this section had been marked as unstable and abandoned. But Ethan had always been curious, and something told him there was more to find. Slowly, he stepped into the shadows, guided only by his flashlight. The tunnel grew narrower and colder as he went deeper. Ethan felt the silence pressing around him. He checked the scanner in his hand. It beeped softly, showing him the area ahead was clear. Still, he moved carefully, not trusting the stability of the walls around him. After several minutes of cautious walking, Ethan reached a small open area. Rocks were scattered everywhere, and broken equipment lay rusted on the ground. As he moved his flashlight across the dark space, something caught his eye. It was a faint glint, reflecting weakly in the dim light. Curious, Ethan stepped forward. His heart jumped when he saw what it was, a chain, dusty and old, connected to the wall. Following the chain downwards, he froze. There, huddled and barely visible, sat a figure, quiet and still. Ethan's throat tightened. Slowly, he knelt down. His flashlight revealed a young woman. She looked fragile and thin, her skin smudged with dirt and bruises. Her eyes were shut, her breathing shallow. Ethan swallowed hard. "Hey," he said softly, not wanting to startle her. "Can you hear me?" Her eyes fluttered open weakly. They were a deep, beautiful shade of blue, though clouded with fear and exhaustion. She recoiled slightly, pressing herself against the cold rock. "It's okay," Ethan said gently, lifting his hand to show he meant no harm. "I'm here to help." The woman stared at him, confused and scared. "I'm dirty," she whispered, her voice cracking. "I'm worthless." Ethan felt his heart ache at her words. "You're not worthless," he assured her, his voice firm but gentle. "And being dirty means nothing. Let me help you." She hesitated, still wary, her eyes darting to the chain around her wrist. Ethan noticed her glance and nodded slowly. "I'll remove it," he promised. Carefully, he took his tool from his belt and approached the chain. The metal was rusty, weakened by time, and easily snapped under pressure as the chain fell away. The woman looked at her wrist, tears filling her eyes. Ethan reached into his bag and pulled out a blanket, gently wrapping it around her trembling shoulders. "Can you walk?" he asked softly. I don't know," she murmured. "It's all right," Ethan reassured her. "I'll help you." He held out his hand. Slowly, hesitantly, she placed her hand in his. Ethan carefully helped her stand. Her legs were shaky, and she almost fell, but he held her steady, supporting her with strong arms. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "What's your name?" Ethan asked gently, guiding her carefully toward the tunnel entrance. "Lena," she replied softly, looking down at her feet. "I'm Ethan," he introduced himself. "You're safe now, Lena." They walked slowly, Ethan matching Lena's pace. The journey back felt longer than before, each step a struggle for the fragile woman beside him. Yet Ethan remained patient, offering encouraging words and gentle support as they neared the brighter areas of the mine. Lena blinked against the stronger light, pausing to adjust. Ethan noticed her discomfort and slowed their pace further, giving her the time she needed. Finally, they reached the living quarters where his team worked and rested. The doors opened, and a few curious faces turned towards them. Ethan quickly lead Lena to the medical room, where Kelly, their skilled and kind medic, immediately came forward. "Who is this?" Kelly asked, her eyes filled with concern. "This is Lena," Ethan explained gently. "She needs help." Kelly nodded warmly, taking Lena's hands gently in her own. "Come with me, dear," she said softly. Smiling reassuringly, Ethan watched as Lena was guided away to receive the care she desperately needed. His heart was heavy with the pain she had endured, but also hopeful. Lena had whispered that she was worthless, but Ethan knew better. She was precious, and he was determined to help her see herself as he saw her, a gem hidden beneath the dirt, ready to shine again. Kelly gently helped Lena sit down on the soft medical bed. The room was quiet, warm, and peaceful. It was very different from the cold, dark place Lena had just left. Lena trembled slightly, feeling unsure of herself, but Kelly's gentle smile comforted her. "You're safe now," Kelly repeated kindly, reaching for some medical tools. "Let's clean these wounds first, shall we?" Lena nodded weakly, her eyes still wide with fear. She glanced nervously around the room, taking in the unfamiliar surroundings. Everything was clean, neat, and orderly, making her feel even more out of place. Kelly carefully cleaned the cuts and bruises, speaking softly and calmly all the while. She asked simple questions about how Lena felt and if anything hurt too much. Lena answered with small nods and quiet whispers. She wasn't used to people caring for her, and the kindness confused her deeply. When Kelly finished, she stepped back and gave Lena a fresh set of clothes. "These are clean," she explained gently. "You can change here. Take your time." Lena held the clothes close, staring at them as if they were something magical. Slowly, she changed into the fresh clothes, feeling strange but better. The fabric was soft, warm, and comforting against her skin. When Lena stepped out again, Kelly smiled warmly. "You look much better," she praised softly. "Now, let's get you some food. You must be very hungry." In the small dining area, Ethan was already waiting. He had prepared a simple meal of bread, warm soup, and water. Lena looked at the food nervously, unsure if she was allowed to eat. Ethan saw her hesitation and gently guided her to sit down. "Please eat, Lena," Ethan encouraged, smiling gently. "It's okay." Slowly, Lena began to eat. Each bite made her feel stronger. The warmth of the soup filled her empty stomach and began to chase away some of her fears. As she ate, Ethan and Kelly sat quietly nearby, giving her space but staying close enough for her to feel safe. After Lena had eaten, she looked at Ethan with timid eyes. "Why are you helping me?" she asked softly, still unsure why they were treating her so kindly. Ethan looked back gently. "Because you're important," he said quietly. "Every person deserves care and kindness." Lena lowered her eyes, feeling the tears gather again. "But I'm nothing," she whispered sadly. "I was told that many times." Ethan reached out slowly, placing his hand gently on hers. "They were wrong," he said firmly but kindly. "You are worth more than you can imagine." Kelly nodded in agreement, her expression warm and comforting. "Ethan is right. You matter to us, Lena." Lena looked from Ethan to Kelly, confusion and hope mingling in her eyes. She had never felt valuable before, but their sincere words began to crack the wall she had built around herself. In the following days, Lena slowly started to feel better. Ethan and Kelly showed her around the colony, introducing her to the rest of the crew. Everyone was kind, treating her with respect and patience. Jake, the pilot, quickly became a good friend, making her laugh with his funny stories and gentle humor. Little by little, Lena began to open up. She helped with simple tasks around the colony, always carefully guided by Ethan or Kelly. Each time she completed a job, Ethan praised her genuinely, building her confidence and self-worth. One afternoon, Lena watched Ethan repairing some equipment. Curious, she approached him slowly. Ethan looked up and smiled warmly. "Would you like to learn?" he asked gently. Lena hesitated, unsure if she could be helpful. "Can I?" she asked quietly, her eyes bright with hope. "Of course," Ethan replied warmly, handing her a small tool. "Everyone starts somewhere." Patiently, Ethan guided her hands, showing her how each piece worked. Lena listened carefully, slowly gaining understanding. She felt proud each time she did something right. her confidence growing with Ethan's patient teaching. That night, as Lena lay in bed, she thought about everything that had changed. Ethan's kind words echoed in her mind, reminding her she was no longer worthless. The warmth she felt wasn't just from the bed or the food. It was from knowing that someone truly believed in her. She whispered quietly to herself, "Maybe I am worth something." Outside, Ethan looked up at the stars, feeling proud of Lena's progress. He knew this was just the beginning, and he was determined to help her see herself clearly valuable, precious, and truly like a gem. The days at the mining colony grew warmer and brighter for Lena. With each passing day, she learned new skills and began to trust herself more. Ethan and the crew continued to encourage her, helping her build confidence and slowly heal from her past. One morning, Lena sat quietly by herself near a window, looking out at the barren landscape. Jake approached her, his friendly smile always welcoming. "Hey, Lena," Jake said cheerfully, pulling up a chair beside her. "Why the serious face?" Lena managed a small smile. "Just thinking," she replied softly, "about how strange everything is." Jake nodded thoughtfully. "Life has its ways," he said kindly. "But look at you now. You've come a long way in a short time. Ethan says you're doing great." Lena felt her cheeks grow warm. "Ethan is kind," she murmured, still struggling to fully accept the praise. Jake laughed gently. "He means every word. Trust me. Ethan doesn't say things he doesn't believe." Lena felt a flutter in her chest at Jake's words. She knew Ethan had been patient and caring, helping her more than anyone else. But hearing someone else confirm, it made her feel something special inside. Later, Lena found Ethan working in the repair bay, fixing a large piece of mining equipment. He looked up as she entered, smiling warmly. "Hey, Lena, want to help again?" "Today?" She nodded eagerly, moving quickly to stand beside him. Ethan handed her a small tool, showing her carefully what needed to be done. She listened closely, her hands becoming steadier and more confident with each passing day. "You're getting really good at this," Ethan praised sincerely. Smiling at her proudly, Lena felt happiness bubble inside her. "Thank you," she whispered. Feeling a little shy, as they worked, Ethan began to share more stories about his life before coming to the colony. Lena listened quietly, fascinated by his experiences and the simple way he described things. The more she learned about him, the safer she felt. During a quiet moment, Lena hesitated, then quietly asked, "Why did you choose this place, Ethan?" Ethan paused, thoughtful. "I guess because I wanted a new start," he replied gently. "Life can get complicated sometimes. Coming here felt like a chance to do something good." "You did something very good," Lena said softly, her voice filled with sincerity. "You saved me." Ethan met her eyes, his expression gentle and kind. "You?" "Saved yourself, Lena. I just helped a little." Their quiet conversation was suddenly interrupted by an alarm sounding loudly through the colony. Ethan immediately stood, concern etched on his face. "What's happening?" Lena asked anxiously, her voice shaking. "I'm not sure," Ethan replied quickly, moving to a nearby console to check the monitors. His eyes narrowed as he read the data. "We have visitors." Lena felt her heart jump with fear. "Visitors?" Ethan looked at her carefully. "Not friendly ones," he admitted gently. "But don't worry, Lena. You're safe here." Just then, Kelly rushed into the room, her eyes wide with worry. "They've come back," she said urgently, looking directly at Lena. "Those traitors, they're demanding to see her." Fear tightened Lena's chest, making it difficult to breathe. She took a step backward, panic rising. "I can't go back," she whispered. Desperately, Ethan moved quickly to her side, placing a comforting hand on her shoulder. "You won't," he assured her firmly. "You're with us now. We'll protect you." Kelly nodded in agreement, her voice calm but firm. "We'll face them together. No one here will let them take you." Taking a deep breath, Lena nodded slowly, trusting their words. Together, The three walked out to face the visitors who had entered the colony. Outside, the traders stood, their faces hard and unforgiving. The leader stepped forward, his eyes cold and calculating. "She belongs to us," he stated firmly, pointing directly at Lena. "No, she doesn't," Ethan replied, stepping protectively in front of Lena. His voice was steady, strong, and clear. "She is free," the trader sneered. "She has no value. Give her to us." Ethan shook his head firmly. "You're wrong," he said, determination clear in his voice. "She's worth more than you can imagine." Lena felt tears rise at Ethan's words. His belief in her filled her with a strength she had never known before. Gathering courage, she stepped forward to stand beside him. "I won't go," she said, her voice clear, even though it trembled slightly. "I choose to stay here." Surprised by her bravery, the traders hesitated. After a tense moment, they backed away, realizing they had lost. With angry, defeated looks, they turned and left. When the traders had gone, Lena breathed deeply, relief washing over her. Ethan looked down at her, pride shining brightly in his eyes. "You were amazing," he praised softly. Lena smiled softly, feeling a newfound strength inside her heart. "Because you showed me how to be." After the tense encounter with the traders, life at the colony returned to normal, though everyone felt changed by the event. Lena especially felt different. Standing up to the traders had given her strength and courage she didn't know she had. Ethan noticed how Lena had grown more confident. He felt proud every time he saw her working with others, smiling and talking openly. But he also sensed that something still bothered her deep inside. One quiet afternoon, Ethan found Lena sitting alone, outside, staring into the distance. He approached her slowly, sitting beside her gently. "Are you all right, Lena?" Ethan asked softly, noticing the thoughtful look on her face. Lena sighed lightly. "I keep thinking about what the traders said. They called me worthless again. Even though I stood up to them, their words still hurt." Ethan nodded understandingly. "Words can hurt, even when we know they're wrong. But remember, you proved them wrong." Lena turned to look at Ethan. Her eyes were full of questions and doubts. "Do you really think so?" she asked hesitantly. Ethan smiled warmly. "Of course I do. Look at everything you've done here. You help others, you learn new things every day, and everyone likes you. You have so much value, Lena. Never doubt that." A small smile finally appeared on Lena's lips. "Thank you, Ethan," she whispered softly, feeling a warm comfort from his words. The next day, Kelly invited Lena to help her in the medical area. Lena eagerly agreed, happy to learn more skills. Kelly patiently explained each task, encouraging Lena every step of the way. "You're doing wonderfully," Kelly praised after Lena completed a small procedure on her own. Lena beamed proudly, feeling capable and important. "Thank you, Kelly. I enjoy this." "You have a natural talent," Kelly replied kindly. "Maybe someday, you'll even become our assistant medic." The idea excited Lena, giving her a sense of purpose she never felt before. She eagerly continued to help Kelly, determined to learn as much as possible. Later that evening, Jake joined Ethan and Lena for dinner. The mood was cheerful, with Jake telling funny stories that made everyone laugh. Lena felt comfortable and happy, enjoying the simple joy of friendship. Suddenly, the communication device beeped urgently. Ethan frowned, answering the call quickly. It was an emergency message from another part of the colony. "There's been an accident," Ethan said seriously, his eyes filled with worry. "We need medical help immediately." Without hesitation, Kelly stood up, preparing to go quickly. Lena felt nervous but stepped forward bravely. "Can I come too?" she asked softly. Kelly and Ethan exchanged glances. Ethan nodded encouragingly. "Yes, Lena, come and help." The scene was chaotic when they arrived. Several workers had been injured in a mining accident. Lena felt overwhelmed, but quickly followed Kelly's calm instructions. She helped bandage wounds, supported the injured, and comforted them with gentle words. Ethan watched Lena closely, feeling deeply proud of her calm bravery. She had grown stronger than he ever imagined possible. Once the injured were safely moved to the medical area, Lena stayed with Kelly, tirelessly working until everyone was comfortable and treated. When they finally finished, Kelly hugged Lena warmly. "You were amazing today," Kelly said sincerely. "You helped save lives." Lena blushed deeply, smiling shyly. "I just did what you taught me," she said humbly. Ethan joined them, placing a reassuring hand on Lena's shoulder. "You did far more than that," he told her firmly. "You showed real courage and compassion. Those aren't things that can be taught. They come from your heart." Tears filled Lena's eyes, but this time they were tears of happiness and pride. "I never thought I could be useful," she whispered, her voice shaking slightly. Ethan gently squeezed her shoulder. "You're more than useful, Lena. You're an important part of our family." Days passed peacefully after the accident. Lena continued helping Kelly in the medical room, learning new things every day. Ethan often stopped by to watch her progress, always smiling proudly. One evening, Ethan and Lena took a walk outside the colony, enjoying the quiet of the night. The stars sparkled brightly above, casting soft, gentle light around them. "Ethan," Lena said quietly, looking up at him, "I never thanked you properly. You changed my life." Ethan looked gently down at her, shaking his head slightly. "You don't need to thank me, Lena. Seeing you become strong and happy is thanks enough." They stood together in peaceful silence, looking up at the beautiful stars. Lena felt warm inside, knowing she was no longer alone or worthless. She was valuable, she was strong, and she was finally starting to believe it herself. The colony had settled into a gentle rhythm. Lena's confidence grew stronger each day, and she started to feel truly at home. The mining colony no longer felt cold or lonely. It was warm and filled with the kindness of her new friends. One bright morning, Ethan called Lena to the control room. Curious, she walked in and found Jake and Kelly there, all smiling warmly at her. "What's going on?" Lena asked, her eyes wide with wonder. "We have something special for you," Ethan said gently, stepping aside to reveal a small workstation set up just for her. Lena gasped softly, covering her mouth in surprise. The workstation was perfect, equipped with tools for repairing equipment and medical supplies neatly arranged. Tears filled her eyes. "For me?" she whispered, her voice shaking with emotion. "Yes, Lena," Kelly replied warmly. "You've earned this. You're now officially part of our medical and repair team." Lena felt a wave of happiness rush through her, her heart filled with joy and pride. "Thank you so much," she said sincerely, her voice full of gratitude. Jake chuckled lightly. "You deserve it, Lena. You've worked hard and helped all of us." Ethan placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. "And this is only the beginning," he said warmly. "There's still so much you can do." From that day on, Lena took on her new responsibilities with dedication and pride. She quickly became skilled at both repairing equipment and helping in the medical area. Each successful repair or medical procedure made her feel valuable and respected. One evening, while working late in the repair area, Lena heard footsteps approaching. She turned to see Ethan standing there, a gentle smile on his face. "Working late?" Ethan asked softly. "I wanted to finish this," Lena replied quietly, holding up the repair tool proudly. "It's finally working again." "Well done," Ethan praised. "Sincerely, you've come so far, Lena." Lena looked down, feeling shy but pleased. "I couldn't have done it without you, Ethan." "I only guided you," Ethan replied softly. "You did all the work yourself. You should be proud." They shared a quiet, comfortable silence. Lena felt safe and valued in Ethan's presence, realizing how much she trusted and cared for him. The peace was soon disrupted again when another alarm sounded urgently through the colony. Ethan quickly checked the monitors, his expression turning. "Serious, what is it this time?" Lena asked anxiously, standing quickly beside him. "A storm," Ethan said calmly but firmly. A bad one is approaching. We have to secure the colony. Everyone quickly went into action. Lena moved fast, helping Jake secure tools and supplies while Ethan and Kelly checked all entrances. The wind began to howl outside, growing louder by the minute. Soon the storm reached its peak, shaking the walls with fierce winds and pounding rain. Lena helped ensure everyone was safe, comforting those who felt frightened or unsure. Hours passed before the storm finally began to ease. Exhausted, Lena sat down, breathing deeply. Ethan came to sit beside her, giving her a gentle smile. "You did wonderfully, Lena," he praised warmly. "You stayed calm and helped everyone feel safe." Lena smiled softly, tired but happy. "I wanted to help. I wanted to protect everyone, just like you always do." Ethan met her eyes, his gaze gentle and kind. "You already do, Lena. You're stronger and braver than you realize." The next morning, everyone assessed the storm damage. Thankfully, no one had been hurt, and the colony had only minor repairs needed. Lena led the repair efforts confidently, guiding others just as Ethan had guided her. As the days passed, the colony was restored completely. Life returned to its normal, peaceful rhythm. Lena's confidence soared even higher, and her sense of worth and belonging deepened. One quiet evening, Lena stood near the entrance of the colony, watching the sunset with Ethan beside her. "I never imagined my life could be like this," she said, softly, looking thoughtfully at the beautiful colors spreading across the sky. "Life has a way of surprising us," Ethan replied gently. "You deserve happiness, Lena. You've earned it." Lena turned to Ethan, her eyes filled with gratitude. "Thank you for seeing something in me when I couldn't see it myself." Ethan smiled gently, shaking his head slightly. "You were always worth seeing, Lena. You just needed a little help to see yourself clearly." In that moment, Lena felt completely whole. She knew she was no longer the frightened, lonely girl who had whispered about being dirty and worthless. She was someone valuable, loved, and respected, someone who truly mattered. As they stood watching the stars slowly appear, Lena felt hopeful for her future. She had found her place, her strength, and her family. She was finally home. Days turned into weeks, and Lena continued to grow stronger and happier at the mining colony. She worked hard, becoming more confident in her skills and responsibilities. Ethan, Kelly, and Jake remained by her side, always encouraging and supporting her. One sunny afternoon, Lena sat quietly repairing a small machine, carefully focused on her work. Ethan approached quietly, watching her for a moment with a proud smile. "You become really good at this, Lena," Ethan said gently, causing her to jump slightly in surprise. "Oh, Ethan," Lena smiled, her cheeks slightly red. "Thank you. I'm learning something new every day." Ethan sat down next to her, carefully examining her finished work. "Your dedication is impressive," he said warmly. "Everyone here notices how hard you work." Lena felt warmth spread through her chest. "I never thought I'd be good at anything," she admitted quietly. "You're not just good," Ethan corrected softly. "You're exceptional. You make everyone around you proud." Their quiet conversation was interrupted as Jake hurried into the workshop. "We've received a new communication," he said, sounding serious. Ethan stood up quickly, looking concerned. "What kind of communication?" Jake hesitated briefly before answering. "It's from a nearby colony. They're facing a crisis. Their main generator broke down, and they need urgent assistance." Lena immediately felt worry for the people in trouble. "Can we help them?" she asked softly, looking at Ethan hopefully. Ethan nodded firmly. "We have the skills and the equipment. Let's prepare quickly." The colony moved swiftly into action. Ethan, Lena, Jake, and Kelly loaded their ship with necessary tools and supplies. Lena felt nervous yet determined, eager to help others just as she had been helped. The journey to the nearby colony was quick but tense. Upon arrival, they were met by the colony leader, a woman named Clara, who greeted them with relief in her eyes. "Thank you for coming," Clara said sincerely. We feared no one could reach us in time. We're here to help, Ethan assured her calmly, glancing briefly at Lena with confidence. Lena felt encouraged by Ethan's trust. She joined Ethan and Jake as they quickly went to assess the damage. Generator. It was old, worn down, and heavily damaged. This will be tough, Jake said thoughtfully. But possible, Ethan said confidently, turning to Lena. Are you ready? Lena nodded bravely. Yes, let's do this. They worked tirelessly, each hour bringing new challenges. Lena followed Ethan's instructions closely, offering solutions and repairs that impressed even Ethan and Jake. Her steady hands and quick thinking proved vital to their efforts. Finally, after long hours of hard work, the generator roared back to life. Cheers echoed around them as lights and power returned throughout the colony. Clara approached, her eyes shining with gratitude. You saved us, she said emotionally. Thank you all so much. Ethan smiled warmly, gently pushing Lena forward. Lena did most of the work. She's the real hero here. Lena blushed deeply, overwhelmed by the praise and gratitude. I just wanted to help, she said humbly. And you did wonderfully. Clara assured her kindly. Returning home, the crew felt tired but accomplished. Lena sat quietly, reflecting on everything that had happened. Ethan sat beside her, giving her a comforting smile. You were amazing today, Lena, Ethan said warmly. I couldn't have done it without you believing in me, Lena replied softly. Looking gratefully into his eyes, Ethan gently shook his head. You had the strength all along. You just needed a chance to see it clearly. Back at the colony, the crew celebrated their successful mission with a small gathering. Lena felt deeply happy, surrounded by people she cared for, people who truly saw her worth. After the celebration, Lena took a quiet walk outside. Ethan joined her shortly afterward, walking quietly beside her. You've come such a long way, Ethan remarked gently, looking up at the stars. I had good teachers, Lena said softly, smiling at him, and wonderful friends. You deserve all this happiness, Lena, Ethan said sincerely. Never forget that. Lena nodded quietly, knowing deep inside that his words were true. For the first time in her life, she felt completely sure of herself. She was no longer the scared, helpless person who had believed herself worthless. She turned to Ethan, her eyes full of gratitude and warmth. Thank you for everything. Ethan smiled softly, his eyes warm and gentle. No need for thanks. Lena, your happiness is the best reward. Together, under the vast sky filled with sparkling stars, Lena felt at peace. She knew now she had finally found her true place and true value, surrounded by people who saw her clearly, who saw her as a precious gem. Life continued peacefully at the mining colony, with Lena becoming an essential and respected part of the community. Every day she woke up feeling valued and needed, always eager to contribute and help her friends. One day, Ethan called Lena into the main hall. She walked in curiously, finding the entire colony gathered. Ethan smiled gently, motioning her to stand beside him. We have something important to announce. Ethan began warmly, placing a supportive hand on Lena's shoulder. Because of Lena's hard work, our colony is stronger and safer. Today, we officially named Lena as our lead assistant engineer and medical specialist. Applause filled the room, everyone smiling and cheering warmly. Lena stood quietly, her eyes wide with surprise and joy. I don't know what to say, she stammered. Softly, her cheeks turning bright red. You've earned this, Lena, Kelly said kindly. We all believe in you. Jake laughed gently, adding humorously, Yeah, don't be shy. You deserve every bit of praise. Lena looked around, her eyes shining with happiness. Thank you all, she said sincerely. I promise I'll keep working hard. After the announcement, Ethan invited Lena for a walk outside. The sky was clear and bright, perfect for a quiet conversation. You really surprised me today, Lena admitted softly, looking up at Ethan with a warm smile. Ethan chuckled softly. You deserve the recognition, Lena. Everyone sees how amazing you've become. Lena hesitated briefly, then spoke quietly, her voice filled with sincerity. Ethan, you believed in me when nobody else did. I'll always be grateful. Ethan gently shook his head. I only helped you see what was always there. You had the strength inside you all along. They walked slowly, enjoying each other's company and the peacefulness around them. Lena felt a warmth inside her heart, knowing she had found her true family in Ethan and the colony. A few weeks later, a new communication arrived, this time from the headquarters that managed their sector of space. The message asked Ethan and Lena to visit them personally. Feeling curious yet slightly nervous, Lena agreed to accompany Ethan. The journey to headquarters was quiet, filled with wonder and anticipation. Lena had never traveled so far before, but Ethan's steady presence calmed her. When they arrived, they were greeted warmly by an official named Marcus, who welcomed them with respect. We've heard impressive things about you, Lena, Marcus said kindly. Your actions have positively impacted many lives. Lena blushed, feeling honored. I just did what I could, she responded humbly. Marcus smiled warmly. You did far more than that. We'd like to offer you a position at headquarters as a trainer, teaching others your skills. Lena's eyes widened in surprise. She looked at Ethan uncertainly. He smiled encouragingly at her. You'll be amazing at this, Lena, Ethan said gently. Lena considered the offer carefully before responding with quiet confidence. Thank you very much, Marcus. But my home and my heart are at the colony. I feel my work there isn't finished yet. Marcus nodded understandingly, respecting her choice. You're always welcome if you change your mind. Returning to the colony, Lena felt certain about her decision. This was her home, the place that had given her strength, hope, and happiness. Ethan stood beside her, proud of her courage and choice. I'm glad you chose to stay, Ethan admitted softly during their journey back. The colony wouldn't be the same without you. Lena smiled warmly, her heart filled with joy. I belong here, with you and everyone else. As the days turned into months, Lena continued her work at the colony, helping everyone with dedication and kindness. She taught others what she had learned, patiently guiding them just as Ethan had guided her. One calm evening, Lena stood under the stars again, reflecting on her journey. Ethan joined her quietly, standing beside her comfortably. Remember when I first found you? Ethan asked softly, a gentle smile on his lips. Lena nodded, her eyes shining warmly. You lifted me like a gem, even when I believed I was worthless. Ethan turned toward her, sincerity clear in his eyes. You were always a gem, Lena. You just needed someone to see your true value. Lena smiled gently, feeling peace and happiness deep within her. And now, because of you, I see it too. Together, they stood beneath the vast night sky, stars sparkling brightly above. Lena knew her journey wasn't about being rescued. It was about discovering her own worth, strength, and purpose. With Ethan beside her and surrounded by her newfound family, Lena finally felt whole, cherished, and truly precious, just like a gem.